guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I have another book haul for you, and it is quite a themed one. You'll see what I mean in a little while. Before we get into that, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. You'll continue to support me a lot, so thank you guys so much. I'm going to do the themed ones first. Let's see if you can guess what the theme appears to be for my recent little shopping spree. Now, let me first tell you, I went into the local bookshop, which is called Bookish. It's a lovely small bookshop. They have one in Abergavenny and one in Gilwern. Love it. And I went in to get 2 books. That look like 2 books? No. I went in and I'll be honest with you, I found 2 books that I was like, oh, yes, and then was like, oh, Matt for Christmas. It's books I also want to read, but it's books I know he'll really want to read too. So that was my excuse anyway. Then I was trying to find the 2 books I was looking for and I couldn't find them, and I ended up finding a different book. So I ended up with 3. Then I went to the counter and I asked, do you have this book? And she looked up on the computer, she's like, yeah, I think we do. And then she found it in the corner where I'd been looking for ages. So she found that. I was like, oh, great. And I was like, all right, and do you know when this new book comes out? She's like, oh, this one. So the 2 books I went in there for were right next to the till, and I just didn't see them. But it meant I got 3 more books, which from a book nerd point of view is a win. From my purse point of view, it's the, I've got to tell you the full story, right? I had to go to the orthodontist. My retainer brace broke, so I had to go. And I haven't been feeling well, been very anxious, so I was trying to make it so that it was something I could enjoy going to. So I was like, it's okay, I've got 2 books I want to get. I'll go into the bookshop on my way to the orthodontist. And it did work. It really did actually cheer me up, because when I was sat waiting for the orthodontist, I was reading the blurbs of the books that I'd bought and just admiring them. Then I went in and it was over and done with. My purse strongly disagrees with this way of thinking, because, oh, orthodontists are expensive. But it's paid now, it's done. With any luck, my teeth will not be able to fit a £2 coin in between the front again. I diverge. We are going to go through my book haul. The first 3, I want to see if you can guess what the theme is. The first book I got is called The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arakawa. Now this one was one I didn't go in for. I was searching for a different book when this one jumped out of me, and we all know why it jumped out of me. It's got a cat on the front. It also has, from the Sunday Telegraph, Bewitching and Comforting. It includes a sneak preview of The Goodbye Cat, which I guess is another one. And when I looked on the back, it has yet more great reviews. A Waterstones bestseller. This is the book I am giving everyone. Financial Times, a delight to read. Fiona Melrose, author of Midwinter. The uniqueness of this book is its subtle yet persistent charm that insinuates itself into your heart. And Lynn Truss from The Guardian. Anyone who has ever unashamedly loved an animal will read this book with gratitude for its understanding of an emotion that ennobles us as human beings, whether we value it or not. I didn't need to read the blurb after reading those reviews, because it just sounds like such a warm and comforting read, which is really what I'm looking for right now. It reminded me of The Guest Cat and of Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which we all know I adore those books. This was one of my accidental buys, and I'll read you guys the blurb. It's not the journey that counts, but who is at your side. Nana is on a road trip, but he is not sure where to. All that matters is that he can sit beside his beloved Satoru in the front of his silver van. Satoru is keen to visit 3 old friends from his youth, though Nana doesn't know why and Satoru won't say. Set against the backdrop of Japan's changing seasons and narrated with a rare gentleness and striking humour, Nana's story explores the wonder and thrill of life's unexpected detours. It is about friendship, solitude, and knowing when to give and when to take. Above all, it shows how acts of love, both great and small, can transform our lives. How nice does that sound? So, The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arakawa, book number 1. Book number 2. Now, this is one of the books I actually went in for. This book I couldn't find, and lo and behold, when I asked the person at the desk, it was literally right next to the Chronicles, right next to it. But the second book I got was What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. Are you seeing the theme yet? Cat on the cover. It was shortlisted for the Japan Booksellers Award. I'll be honest with you, I was sold on the cover. I saw this book come up on a Bookstagram post from someone, and I just had to have it. It has a cat and it has a library. What is not to like? Let me read you guys the blurb. On the back it says, library, what a nice sounding word. So comforting. I feel like I'm a student again. Library, am I allowed to borrow books? I'll read you guys the full blurb now. What are you looking for? So asks Tokyo's most enigmatic librarian. For Sayuri Komachi is able to sense exactly what each visitor to her library is searching for and provide just the book recommendation to help them find it. A restless retail assistant looks to gain new skills. A mother tries to overcome demotion at work after maternity leave. A conscientious accountant yearns to open an antique store. A recently retired salaryman searches for newfound purpose. In Komachi's unique book recommendation, they will find just what they need to achieve their dreams. What Are You Looking For is in the libraries about the magic of libraries and the discovery of connection. This inspirational tale shows how, by listening to our hearts, seizing opportunity and reaching out, we can fulfill our lifelong dreams. Which book will you recommend? It sounds nice again. Can you see the theme yet? There's one last book, and I will tell you the theme, but I'm guessing even from the first book, if you've watched my channel before, you got it. You know the theme. But that's the second book, and this one was one I actually went in for. The third book is again one I actually was looking for. This is the one that when I asked when does this book come out, she just lifted it off the counter and gave it to me. It's the fourth book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. It's pink, which I'm actually really enjoying, and it's signed. Hell yeah. Is it pink on the inside? Oh, it's like a baby pink on the inside. I actually love that. Oh, I'm gonna have to get you, my friend Shauna, into you. But this is Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is the fourth book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. So I'll read you guys the back of it first. Soon I will pour you a cup of coffee, Kazu explained while placing the cup in front of Michiko. Coffee, Michiko cocked her head inquisitively. She didn't see the connection between going back in time and coffee. The time you may spend back in the past is limited from the time I pour the coffee until the time the coffee gets cold. What? That's short. Now I will say, if you haven't read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, or the other books before it, this is the fourth in the series. So skip to this time here for the next book that I bought in this book haul if you don't want to read this blurb. But if you are here, I'll read you guys the blurb. The fourth novel in Toshikazu Kawaguchi's internationally best-selling Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. The regulars at the magical cafe Funikuli, I butcher that name, are well acquainted with its famous legend and extraordinary time travel offering. Many patrons have reunited with old flames, made amends with estranged family, and visited loved ones. But the journey is not without risks, and there are rules to follow. Travellers must have visited the cafe before and, crucially, must return to the present in the time it takes their coffee to go cold. In the tradition of Toshikazu Kawaguchi's sensational Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, readers will once again be introduced to a new set of visitors: the husband with something important left to say, the woman who couldn't bid her dog farewell, the woman who couldn't answer a proposal, and the daughter who drove her father away. Featuring signature heartwarming characters and wistful storytelling and the beautifully haunting Before We Say Goodbye, Kawaguchi asks, who would you visit if you could travel through time? We know. Right, have you guessed the theme? If not, theme is 1. Cat on front cover. 2. They're all Japanese translated short literature reads and they're all cozy. Now, I will say though, with Coffee Gets Cold, if you haven't seen my book review of the first Before the Coffee Gets Cold, that link is above me now. But the cat in the first one is a lie. And I'm pretty sure the cat is on all the other ones. And if it doesn't appear in one of these books, I will be annoyed. But the book itself is actually really good and worth a read even without the cat. But that are the 3 books that I got. The 2 I went in for, and 1 accidental, all cat-themed and all short Japanese translated comfort ready books. Now, I have 2 books which I can now show you because it is after Christmas. These are 2 very accidental books that I picked up instantly. 1, because I want to read them, and 2, because I know Matt will want to read them. So these are 2 of Matt's Christmas presents, so you guys know something I've got him for Christmas. Book 1 is Terry Pratchett, A Stroke of the Pen, The Lost Stories. And this is a foreword by Neil Gaiman. Terry Pratchett, if you're not new to my channel, you know I'm a huge fan. If you are new to my channel, I'm reading the Discworld series in order. But Terry Pratchett is a very famous fantasy author who passed away. And this book are little snippets of short stories and stories that he didn't finish in one place. So it's called The Lost Stories. And it is the exclusive edition, which is for Independent Bookshop. So look how gorgeous it is. And it's got coloured pages. It's so gorgeous. It did make me question, because you always get like the Waterstones editions or the Barnes & Noble editions. Are they now making independent shop editions? Is that independent bookshops trying to get you in because obviously they need you in? Or is it the publishing houses making other ones for people who might want to collect all the different looking ones? If someone really wants to, they could collect all the various examples of this particular book in its various forms. I'm not one of those people, but I will fall for pretty. I'll read you guys the back first. Far away and long ago, when dragons still existed and the only arcade game was ping pong in black and white, a wizard cautiously entered a smoky tavern in the evil, ancient, foggy city of Morpork. I'll read you guys the blurb. Ooh, it's yellow. So yellow on the inside. Red on there, yellow in there. Quite clashy, but in a good way. Unearthed gems from the pen of Sir Terry Pratchett, one of the world's best-loved storytellers. A truly unmissable collection of 20 rediscovered stories written under a pseudonym in the 1970s and 80s by the award-winning and best-selling author of the phenomenal Discworld series. These early tales hint at the worlds Terry Pratchett would go on to create, containing all his trademark wit, satirical wisdom, and fantastic imagination. Meet Og the Inventor, the first caveman to cultivate fire as he discovers the highs and lows of progress. Haunt the Ministry of Nuances with the defiant evicted ghosts of the Pilgarlic Towers. Visit Blackberry, a small market town with weird weather and an otherworldly visitor. And go on a dangerous quest through time and space with hero Kron, which begins in the ancient city of Morpork. A must-have collection for Pratchett fans of all ages. So these are short stories that he wrote either before he was super famous. Yeah, 70s and 80s, before he was famous, and he was using a pseudonym, so he was using a different name. That's interesting. I know he wrote a lot of shorts for magazines and things before he got published. I believe was his first book Carpet People? It was one of his children's shorts that was published first. I'm so excited to read that. So I go off on a tangent when it's Pratchett, I really do. But my fourth accidental purchase, and that was Matt's Christmas present. And then the final accidental purchase of my OOPSY BookHaul, that was kind of on purpose not, is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. Look at that cover, guys. Look at it. Matt is a big Brandon Sanderson fan. He's read, as far as I'm aware, pretty much all of Brandon Sanderson books, I think. I have not actually read any Brandon Sanderson yet. I say yet because I will be. But I might start with this one because this cover intrigues me far more than the other covers. Even though I know that Brandon Sanderson is good, I've watched Brandon Sanderson's entire lectures on writing. They're all on YouTube if you do want to see his lectures. So I've studied his ways of writing. I know he's a bestseller. I know most of my book nerd friends have read Brandon Sanderson. I have not yet, and I want to start with this one. But I knew Matt hasn't got this one and hasn't read this one because it's brand new. So I got it from being the lovely book nerdish fiance that I am. But let me read you guys the blurb. From the most successful Kickstarter campaign of all time, there is a world, one of endless night, surrounded by an even deeper darkness. Filled with nightmares come to life, twisted shapes that slink to windows and ease open doors, sliding across floors to look down on helpless faces. There is another world, a bright world, so bright it burns, filled with stacked stones that call forth miracles, raised by calloused hands that tremble in their work, drained with each stone lifted, settled, lifted again. Between these worlds, two souls connect, collide, entwine, a bridge, a path, a road to both worlds changing forever. A novel notion says utterly brilliant, easily one of Sanderson's finest books. And I mean, it sounds like a love story to me. On the inside, it has a note from Brandon Sanderson. It says, "Dear reader, even for a compulsive planner like me, sometimes a story emerges like magic. Unexpected, unprompted, you build an outline in days, craft worlds during a compulsive daydream, and develop characters with a burst of imagination like the brief flash of a firework. That was Yumi and the Nightmare Painter for me. The unanticipated story of two people who find one another. May your dreams live as mine sometimes do. How nice is that? It's bright blue on the inside, which is very nice. That's going to be very nice to read with. So I always take the... what do you call it? I always take this bit off. And inside, look how gorgeous that is. It's so beautiful. So I'm very excited to read this. And when I say that Brandon Sanderson is a very famous writer, look at all those books he's written. Look at them all. There's so many. And I have not read one of them. Nope, none. But I will be starting with this standalone one because I want to. Alright? And that is it. Woo. Can't get it. Book sleeve. That's what it's called. And that is it for my accidentally on purpose but bought too many book hauls. So let's recap. The first accident was Brandon Sanderson, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, which is one of Matt's Christmas presents. The second accidental was Terry Pratchett, A Stroke of the Pen, The Lost Stories, which is a foreword by Neil Gaiman in there. Again, accidental, a Matt Christmas present. The third book, which was one I went in to get, is Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, which is the fourth book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. The fourth book I got, which is one that I did go in for, is What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. Went in for this one, cat and Japanese translated book theme. And the final, fifth book of this book haul is The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arakawa. This was an accidental pickup, which I am very much looking forward to reading. And that's it, which I think that's a decent book haul. 5 books, 2 was supposed to get 3 accidentals. That's not bad for a book nerd. I think I was both controlled and out of control at the same time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like what you see. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see since I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post my bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. These were from my local independent bookshop, which is called A Bookish. Please, if you can, support your local new and secondhand bookshops because they mean a lot and we don't want to lose them because A, you can now get special editions just from independent bookshops. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.